Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What's up, fight fans? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Let's talk about it. Y'all know what it is. Hangover live stream. We talking Spence versus Showtime Sean Porter in the aftermath. If you got your coffee this morning, I know I got mine. Drink it if you got it. Lord knows if you were feeling anything like I was feeling last night, you need it. You know what I mean? We got a lot to talk about head with a more clear mind. That was the very first thing that I did this morning. You know what I'm saying? Woke up this morning. Before I started my day, I say I have to re-watch this fight. I must get a clearer understanding of who won this fight. Hopefully, we're not having no streaming issues out there, man. So, upon you know what I mean. I gotta admit, man, I'm still left at the same point where I started last night. And that is, I truly believe that Showtime Sean Porter, and this is after a second watch, I counted the rounds from the rounds the way I scored it, and I honestly believe that Showtime Sean Porter should have got his hand raised last night. Not only that, I mean, look, man, if you go back and watch the fight, the round to me, that was a just telling round for Showtime Sean Porter. Go back and watch the fourth round. That was an amazing, amazing round for Showtime Sean Porter. Oh shit in the building. What up, man? Good morning. Good morning. Hit the thumbs up as y'all coming on in this morning. We got a lot of ground to cover with this fight. And I gotta tell y'all, man, after with that fourth round, out of the first five rounds, I gave Earl Spence Jr. one. And that's just me. I gave him the third round. I thought Sean came back in the fourth round and came back and took it back. When they stopped and they went to all of the commentators, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, all had Showtime Sean Porter up. All had him up. You know what I'm saying? Sean Newton, what up, though? It was a good fight. I felt Spence won, landed the cleanest shots, and was killing the body. He did a lot of digging on the inside. I will admit, he did a lot of digging on the inside. And don't get me wrong, fight fans. Just because I may believe that Showtime Sean Porter may have won does not mean that I'm saying that Earl Spence Jr. looked bad. He didn't look bad. I never even said that once last night. He didn't look bad. I just don't think he won the fight. I thought he got outworked. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I don't know if I've ever said this live on camera, but truly believe that those punch stats were off. Man, there were times where Porter was landing punches and the ticker wasn't even going up. I thought that Sean outworked Earl. I thought that Sean hurt Earl numerous times throughout this fight. Earl Spence did a lot of low blows. He even hit Sean one time after the ref broke him apart. Gave Sean a straight left hook right across the chin. Boom. Sean looked at him like, for real? All of the criticism against Porter about him being the dirty fighter going into this fight, and it seems to me that the dirty fighter for the most part of this fight was Earl Spence Jr. Do I think any of it was done intentionally? No, I don't. I think it was a rugged fight, and things like this happen in a rugged fight. If we would have got a headbutt, a clash of heads, the way that they were fighting, we should have expected. But I thought Earl lost the fight, man. I can't see. And then even cosmetically, like when you watch the fight, sound off, turn it all the way down, listen to it to yourself, and just watch it cosmetically. You will have to give it to Showtime Sean Porter. It was an ugly fight. In a lot of portions of the fight, maybe you may have seen things that I didn't see because they were tangled up so much. A lot of punches were thrown on the inside. There could have been punches that I didn't see, maybe you saw. But from what I seen, the guy that was pressing the action, he hurt Earl Spence numerous of times. Whether he was accurate or not, because he wasn't nearly as accurate, in my opinion, as Earl Spence, but accurate or not, he still was working. And most importantly, the judges' scorecards. When you got a scorecard of 116 to 111, it make people skeptical. Lenny Ellaby's nose says Porter trunks were high. Porter trunks was very high. He had them things up to his throat line, you know what I'm saying? But there were some shots that still were lower than normal, you know what I mean? Even with high shorts. There's some shots were high. Like I said before, I don't fault Earl for it, though. You're not going to sit here and have me sitting back like Earl's a dirty fighter. No, I just think it was just that kind of fight. You know what I mean? Good morning to you too, Leonard Ellaby's nose. Good morning to you too, fam. FJ says Spence fanboys are going to say that they think Spence won. The objective amongst us to be objective and biased people are going to be fanboys. That's just the way it's going to be, and it is what it is. Absolutely. Now, the thing is this. If you were a fan of Earl Spence Jr., you're going to say it was a rugged, tough, close fight, but I believe my guy won. If you are a stan of Earl Spence Jr., you're going to be okay with the scorecards. You're going to say, oh, the knockdown was so beautiful. Oh, yeah, you know, Earl beat him up, roughed him up on the inside, beat him at his game. You're going to hype this thing beyond recognition. I didn't see a win last night. And I think that Showtime Sean Porter should have a rematch. We seen Showtime Sean Porter in the post-fight chiming up the rematch. I believe he deserves a rematch. My thing is, for all of you Earl Spence Jr. fans out there that want to say he is the guy. Now, on paper, he is the number one welterweight right now, no doubt. But if you want to say he's the guy, we need a rematch and we need more separation. When Keith beat Sean, you saw the separation. When Kale beat Sean, you saw the separation. There was like this much daylight between them last night. This much daylight. And this is coming from the guy that's supposed to be the most dominant figure at welterweight. You hear me, fight fans? Now, for Earl Spence Jr. fans, don't get mad at other boxing fans because they're looking at this performance and they're saying, what the hell? Because the Earl Spence Jr. fans put him on this mountaintop that he was the next coming of the greatest thing since the Ringling Brothers circus. Like, dog, he's like going to be the 10th wonder of the world, like the way they were talking. And I kept telling fans, let's wait. Let's see him on the elite level. Let's see what we got on the elite level. Let's see if the domination that he normally does transcends to the elite level. That fight last night, fight fans, and I'm just keeping it honest. You go through all of Earl's fights with Kale, with Lamont Peterson, with Ocampo, with whoever, Leonard Bundu, Alger, and these were dominating performances. You got to admit and say this was the worst performance that you've seen Earl Spence Jr. put in. And it's coincidentally that this performance comes when he reaches the elite level. And this is why we need to wait, pump our brakes on fighters until we see them on this level. Y'all were talking domination, stopping him. He was going to stop Porter. He was going to dominate Porter. No. FJ says that decision tells me Spence is going to start getting the Canelo treatment from the judges all day. Those scorecards were a joke last night. People getting upset that Danny Garcia versus Spence will be next. It's a good fight. Yeah, I seen Danny talking it up. I seen Earl even talking it up slightly. You know what I mean? I mean, look, man, it's just the natural order of things. To Earl Spence Jr.'s credit, he is literally doing, though, and you may not agree, but he is doing everything he said he wanted to do, meaning that he wanted to fight all of these dudes. He wanted to clear up his side of the street, whatever, and we're going to get to the Bud talk. But he wanted to do all of these things, and he's doing it. He's got Porter. He's clearly saying in interviews he wants the rest of them, and I can't knock that. I'm happy that he's taking that route, and it's good to see that. Pretty soon he'll run into a mandatory. He'll take a soft touch probably next. We'll see. I don't know. But coming off the Mikey Garcia performance where he took no damage, and Sean Porter coming off a balls to the wall fight with Yordenis Ugas, for him to be coming off that performance and put in the work that he did, as opposed to Earl basically not walking out of that fight with so much as a scratch against Mikey Garcia. I don't understand this, man. I don't understand it. But I think this fight deserves a rematch. I believe that Sean Porter should have had his hand raised. It could have honestly went either way. Like I said, I'm not mad if you do feel Earl Spence won. I don't feel he won. I don't feel he won. I don't think it was enough separation. And not to mention, and this is with the knockdown, because I even counted the knockdown in it. Sean just, to me, took too many rounds early. He took too many rounds, and he grabbed enough in the middle. I'm just sorry, man. I mean, the way we score fights, you know, I understand a lot of y'all may say, well, I give it to Earl on clean, decisive punching, because he did have the cleanest shots like Sean said earlier. But there are other things that go into a fight. Who's controlling the pace? Who's dictating the pace? Who's working more? And not to mention, Sean hurt Earl numerous times. Earl hurt Sean a couple times, don't get me wrong. But Sean hurt Earl so many times. So many times. Sean won so many areas of this fight to me, man. I'm sorry, man. Those cards were way off, bruh. Jawad Hussein says if Fox and ESPN can make a deal and make Fury versus Wilder, surely sooner or later they will make Spence versus Crawford all day. It's going to happen. I don't know when. Now, a lot of people today, now take in mind, I want y'all to be aware of this trap that's out here nowadays. So this is what happens. Whenever Earl Spence Jr. beats someone, the next thing that they do, they say, well, why doesn't Bud fight this person? Well, why doesn't Bud fight Porter? Why doesn't Bud fight Kell Brook? You know what I mean? The second that Earl beats, the first thing that they do is pivot to Bud. Oh, why doesn't Bud do this? One foe says he had it 116, 111. For who? Was it for Earl Spence or for Sean Porter? I want to know that. Let me know. But yeah, man. And so, you know, we're not going to sit back and diminish Bud. Oh, he needs to step up. Oh, he needs to do this. He needs to do that. At the end of the day, and I've said this numerous of times, y'all over there on the PBC side can't sit back and dictate and tell Bud what he needs to do. First off, you want to clown Bud from the PBC side, but he has a better deal as far as financially than damn near every fighter in PBC, especially at welterweight, with his guarantee. So financially, he's in a good place. Is he in a good place to get the proper opponents? Absolutely not. But he is making it absolutely clear that I am down to fight you. My promoter is making it evidently clear that I am down to fight you. So all of these difficulties that everybody talks about, I need to see the proof, because when I look on that side of the street, all I see is Bob Arum saying, come fight my fighter. All I see is Terrence Crawford saying, how are you the boogeyman and I'm chasing you? Y'all always people want to interject their own thoughts. Oh, well, you know what Bob mean? Oh, you know Bob won't want to make the fight. You don't know that, man. You don't know that. No, nobody on YouTube, with the exception of maybe a couple people, know Bob Arum and can talk to him on a personal level to know what he really means. All we know publicly, he's calling for the fight. So you can say what you want to say, how you feel. Give me proof where Bob says, I'm not trying to make this fight. I've never seen it. And so what they do is they come out, they attack Bob, and they use other examples. Oh, well, remember this and remember that. Remember he did this. Remember he did that. I'm talking about this situation. It's like somebody walking up to somebody saying, yo, man, what's goody? I'm trying to fight you. Well, no, I ain't trying to fight you. You can fight my man over there, my man over here. Fight him first. That's some sucker stuff. So my deal is y'all keep trying to put Bud into this box like he need to do so many things. But from where I'm sitting, Bud may not have the Hall of Fame opponents. I will admit, he need to make a move to get better opponents. But from where I'm sitting, his trainer has a gym. His trainer got a side deal in Bomac. Bud got a guarantee of $3 million a fight. Plus, when he goes on pay-per-view, $3 million plus pay-per-view back-end money. So financially, Bud is all right. We're not going to, every time Spence get a win, jump out here and start diminishing Terrence Bud Crawford. That's not going to happen. Hit the thumbs up for me, fight fans. We're not going to do that. Let's see. Low Blow Champ says a draw without the knockdown. I don't mean tough. I meant tough fight to score. It was close regardless who you think won all day. Texas T says Bud don't want that smoke. Well, where's the proof on that, Texas T? Last I checked, Bud is at fight. Now, should Bud have been there last night? 100%. Should Bud have been there last night? Absolutely. Should Bud have been on the ringside, smacking his hand on the canvas like I'm trying to get in the ring all day? Should Bud have been in front of a camera last night, letting it be known that, yo, I'm here. Is anybody going to say something to me? All day. I agree with that 100%. And this is a lot of the things that a lot of fight fans say they don't like about Bud. He's too reserved. He has this mentality like the fight should fall in my lap. You need to go after it. You need to go after it. Bud is too small for Porter or Spence. I don't think so, one foe. That would have been cool a year ago. Bud has now been at welterweight over a year. That too small argument, it can't last forever. You know what I'm saying? I think Bud, they said he was too small for Jeff Horn. I didn't see it, you know. I think Sean Porter, though, he deserves a rematch. He deserves a rematch. I don't think this chapter is done. And the answers that we were seeking before this fight, I don't think I got them. The Blu-ray thing. Rocket Strikes 89 in the building. I still had Sean winning all day. I watched it this morning, Rocket Strikes, clear head. I gave it to Sean. My thing is, Earl's power, it was in this fight. Don't get me wrong. If you go back and watch, Earl's power was in this fight. He hurt Sean to the body a couple times. He hurt Sean upstairs a couple times. His power was there. Sean is the crafty veteran that knows how to survive. And he knows when to get in and when to get out. He got hurt, but I got to admit, man, like the ferociousness, I haven't seen that now in 2 fights from Earl. And it's ironic that these are the 2 fights that he no longer has his strength and conditioning coach in Blu-ray. I'm just saying, I said it before when the news got first broke that Blu-ray wasn't there. They make a dynamic duo. Whatever they do, whatever chemistry, whatever the case may be, whatever they do, it works. It makes Earl Spence Jr. into a machine. And Earl, as of his last 2 fights, has not looked like that machine. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying. I think they need to get back together. And I don't know the reason that they're not together, and I'm not going to get into that. But I'm just going to say I think that's a match made in heaven. It works. It works. One foe says Sean will got him through the fight. Spence punished Sean's body. But you got to admit, though, one foe, I agree. I mean, he did will himself. Like I was telling people earlier in the buildup, how does the father factor play into it? I think that by Sean having his father, Kenny, in that corner, Sean wasn't going down, bro. He wasn't going down in front of his daddy. He was not going to sit back and allow Earl Spence Jr. to stop him in front of his daddy. That wasn't going to happen. I don't think that was going to happen. Sean was going to survive. Jawad Hussein says, I hope they make the Bud versus Spence fight soon, though. I believe that Spence is now struggling to make weight. I think this showed in terms of his physical strength and power. Yeah, he tied down a lot more than we've probably ever seen. But however, he's never been worked this hard in a fight. He's never been worked this hard in a fight. You know, he even portions of this fight he tried to do to Kell Brook. He tried to tie up Sean at portions of this fight. And I gotta admit, Sean to me looked like the physically stronger man. Earl couldn't hold Sean. He was attempting to grab him at several points throughout the fight. Sean was slipping right on out. Kell 1-2, bow, hold him, lock him down. Kell wouldn't let him move. Sean was bucking. Kell wasn't letting him move. Earl attempted to do that earlier on in the fight, but he wasn't successful, so he got away from it. And he attempted to just stay on the back foot. Sean got his ribs checked. Yeah, he did. He took a lot of hard body shots, but he never went down, so salute to Sean. Bob Arum is a cancer to boxing. He's a cancer. Yeah, you know, Bob always up to his old tricks. That ain't gonna never change. But he definitely, but like I said, straight drop, somebody got to show me some proof as he will not make the Bud and Spence fight. You know what I mean? We've been banging that drum so long because we know the reputation of Bob Arum. You know what I mean? So my deal is, and I get it, Bob has been a crook in the past. He's been crook on several things. But let's call his bluff. Let's call his bluff. Somebody from PBC need to say, okay, you know what? Let's sit down and have a conversation. And if you're true to your word, let's make this fight. No one's even stepped to that point. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. We can sit back and keep talking bad about, you know, about. But you can't sit back and say the man doesn't want a fight at the end of the day. Rocky Strikes 89 says Spence power is overrated. Blu-ray had him on the juice straight up, and he got smashed by a no power having in shape street fighter. Yeah, man. Hey, y'all see that post-fight interview? I mean, the post-fight press conference? Earl was humbler than a mug. Well, now I can speak real after the fight is over, man. I got a lot of respect for you. I got a lot of respect for you. I got a lot of respect for your father. A lot of love for you and your father. So all of you boxing fans out there that made a zillion videos dissing Kenny Porter, thinking that there was some real bad blood between Kenny Porter and Earl Spence, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because you don't know. This is all WWE build up. I keep telling fight fans. Now, boxing is an emotional sport, so we get sucked into it. But when I see people making a zillion videos dissing Kenny Porter because you think that Earl Spence Jr. feels that way, you're wrong. You're wrong. And you seen Earl in the post-fight interview, in the post-fight press conference. I'm sorry. I love Kenny Porter. I love your father. He said it before. I put a video clip in Main Man Made Man's boxing for him that said, yo, he's well right there at the press conference. I'm sorry, when he ran in the ring, when Sean Porter just got finished beating Yordanis Ugas, what was the first thing that Earl told him? You got the WBC belt. I love you. I love your father. We go way back. I got a lot of love for you, but I think we want to make a fight. It was never no hate. I understand we wanted to make fun of Kenny Porter because of some of the stuff he said and how it seemed like Sean was reluctant to get into the fight. But people try to make it like Earl and Kenny didn't go way back. People try to make it like Earl and Kenny were on the opposite sides of the spectrum. Before this fight was announced, they were cooling in the fan. So a lot of people owe Kenny Porter an apology for this fight, bro. And a lot of people were like, Earl, he wanted Earl to be his son and all of this stuff, man. Yo, people owe Kenny Porter an apology, man. Kenny Porter got his son up for this fight. Kenny Porter, it's almost like he was ready for this. They were ready. I mean, they did a good game plan, man. They made Earl uncomfortable. But I'm willing to bet everything that I got that no one was going to make that apology video for Kenny Porter. I guarantee you. No one wants to talk about how he got his son up to this point. Nobody ain't going to do it. And it's sad. It's sad. Neil Shavy says, Derek James said that the fight isn't going to happen because Bud doesn't pull fans. I heard that interview, man. Yo, man, what's up with Derek James running around here out here talking like a damn diva? Like, yo, and I've defended Derek James several times, man, against other people and everything, man. I told people I believe that Derek James is stood up like this because he got a new gym and he's trying to attract as many fighters as all this diva talking about who can and cannot pull fans. Who is a pay-per-view fighter? He's not this man running around talking about this fight is not a pay-per-view fight. Who the hell are you, Derek James? Who the hell are you? You know what I mean? See, that's what I be talking about with y'all boxing fans. Everybody get mad when I stood up for Keith Thurman and him acting the way he was acting. But now we see when these fighters get on top, they do the same thing. I don't hear nobody saying nothing. I listen to Earl Spence Jr. say, well, maybe I'll fight Terrence. Maybe I won't. He need me. I don't need him. Where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? I hear him saying, oh, well, Danny Garcia now want to fight me. I don't know. Now I'm on top. Now Danny Garcia want to fight me. So I don't know. Maybe I'll look at Pacquiao first, and then maybe I'll look at Terrence and see what they want to do, and then we'll pivot back to Danny. I get it, man. So they all do it. And I ain't mad at Earl for studying up like that. That's what you're supposed to do when like he said on his Twitter this morning, you the big fish. You're supposed to stunt like that. But that's not act like he's doing nothing different than everyone else did. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Swim team says neither is ducking neither. Top Rank and PBC are posturing because it is the business. Could be, but the fact still remains that fans are out here saying, yo, Terrence is ducking. And it's to the point that the Earl Spence Jr. fans now have Terrence Crawford's resume under siege. They're going through his resume and they're saying he ain't never done nothing. They're questioning his pound for pound rankings. You dig where I'm going? Every time Earl beats someone, they want Terrence to beat that person. You get me? So if you allow it, if you don't keep the narrative going of what Terrence really is, they will try to change the perception of Terrence Crawford. All because he's on another side of the street that their favorite fighter isn't on. And I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to stand for that. We're not going to do that. You know what I mean? We're not going to do that. Sean Porter says, Porter pull fans, question mark. Hey, yo, y'all see Sean Porter in the post-fight press conference? Oh, Martin Lawrence was there? Oh, I'm the one that sold this pay-per-view. He told Earl, I sold this pay-per-view. You didn't sell it. Andre Iguodala, I got him. I'm talking to Omar Gooden. He in the back. Oh, I got Martin Lawrence in the audience. I had Dave Chappelle here. Oh, they all came for me, Earl. You ain't the star. Now, that's all rematch talk. He's trying to gin up a rematch. And he knows the way to try to affect Earl is to try to take a shot at him actually being the big dog. We'll see if it works or not. We'll see if it works. I'm not 100% sure on that. You know what I mean? D-Lo boxing, D-Lo 4-4 boxing in the super chat. Salute, famo. Bud fight must happen. Hell with buys and attendance all day. D-Lo boxing 4-4. You're talking like a boxing fan. You feel me? You ain't got time for the A-side, B-side talk. You ain't got time for the contract talk. You ain't got time for the street talk. You just want to see the #1 pound-for-pound fighter who's a welterweight fight another a unified champion of a welterweight. No one cares about that small talk. So many of us fans have been converted over to being promoters now. Oh, why should Earl fight Bud now? Why should he do it? That's the stupidest talk I've ever heard. That's the dumbest talk I've ever heard. Yo, we was turned up last night, man. We was turned up in this joint last night, man. I watching all the media after that fight was over, man, and I didn't get to bed till about 5 o'clock in the morning, man. Real talk. It was crazy. Rocket Strike 89 says, the CompuBox was biased as hell. There's no way Spence was outlanding Porter. A lot of Spence's shots were not landing good defense by Sean all day. I agree with that 100%. That CompuBox was off. I told you, they had the CompuBox up while the fight was ongoing. And there were punches that Porter landed, and they were not being counted in the CompuBox. And I'm like, yo, he's landing punches. The numbers ain't going up. It's like every time they would show the numbers, Spence was so far ahead in the punch stats of Sean Porter. And I was like, what? That don't make sense to me. P. Newell, Famo, what up, Famo? What up with you? The way Porter was fighting, it was great. The more Porter fight that style, the better he will be. And that's the style he should have fought against Jordanis Ugas. All that trying to be this master boxer, drop it. With Sean Porter, your strong point, whether it's pretty or not, whether it's clean or dirty, your strong point is to be that guy that you were last night, man. I'm sorry. D-Lo 4-4 boxing says a lot of Porter's shots were missing as well. Punch stats have always been unreliable. Absolutely. We all know that when it comes to CompuBox, there's just one dude or a couple dudes in the back trailer somewhere hitting the error. Human error is involved in the CompuBox stats. Just keep that in mind, fight fans. Salute to DJ Zion Love. Salute this morning, man. Salute. Porter versus Ugas is the rematch that needs to happen. I mean, true, but I mean, now that that should have happened prior to this happening last night. Now that this has happened, I think Earl got to give Sean a rematch, man. I'm sorry, man. We need more separation, fight fans. We need more separation. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's a good fight. I give this fight of the year so far. This may be fight of the year between this and the Ruiz and Joshua fight. This could be fight. I think this may take fight of the year. What y'all feel? Let me know. Fight of the year, fight fans. Fight of the year. I think this may be fight of the year. This shit was a classic. It was a classic. Dundada in the building. Navy boy rematch all day. Swim team. Without the knockdown, the judges wouldn't have been able to justify Spence decision. Nope. And Porter let herself slip with that. I will admit. Porter walked into that shot. I had Porter right there up at that point, but I still had him up even with the knockdown. I thought he won so many early rounds, man. I mean, to me, those middle rounds, Spence was in retreat mode for so many parts of those rounds, man. Yeah, that's what I'm telling fight fans. Yeah, he may have had the cleaner, decisive punching, but when it comes to the pace being set, when it comes to who pushed the action, the aggression, you know what I'm saying? When it came down to just ring generalship, cosmetically, the way the punches look, it just looked like Porter should have won that fight. And I know we got to go by the numbers in some cases, but there's more than just the numbers, fight fans. I just think cosmetically, sound down. You watch this fight, it looked like Porter pulled that fight out of there, man. 116, 111 is a conspiracy all day. Rocket Strike 89. Forget Porter versus Ugas. Spence need to rematch Porter. Did you catch Earl saying that he wanted to fight how he fought against Porter? This guy is delusional and a liar. I agree 100%. Yo, Earl before that fight said he would be disappointed if he did not stop Sean Porter. Not only did he not stop Sean Porter, But he didn't come within a galaxy of stopping Sean Porter. He didn't come within a galaxy of dominating Sean Porter. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all can't get mad at me for getting here on YouTube when all of the Earl Spence Jr. stands then got up here and told me that this man is the most dominant figure in boxing. That's what you told me. And you were winning me. So I was at a point where I went against this kid so much, I said, these people got to be right. They got to be right. They got to be right. And then he get on the elite level. And now everyone's out here today. Well, it's supposed to be tough. Oh, it was supposed to be this. But before the fight, he's going to stop Porter. He's going to dominate Porter. You see how the tune changed so fast? Man, come on, man. One foe says he dominated Porter. Okay. Clearly, you either trolling, you feel me, one foe, or clearly, I don't know what fight you saw. There was no domination last night, man. There was no domination. Also, and I know we getting caught up in this fight, but salute to David Benavidez. Awesome fight as well. David Benavidez is so flat-footed, man. So flat, so tall, so no upper body movement, so stiff. Yo, he got to loosen up, man. That's what I caught from David Benavidez. He's so tense, it seemed like. And I know he's still young, so he got ways to go. But so tense, you know what I mean? And so stiff. Loosen him up, man. To get his legs moving. Let him move his upper torso more. So stiff. It's almost like a Victor Postal. Standing in front of you straight up. Just looking for that one big shot. And I'm like, bro, like, you don't move. He's so flat-footed, but so dominant and so big. You know what I mean? You say you serious, one foe. I don't understand that, one foe. I don't see no domination, homie. I don't see no domination. No way. D-Lo 4-4 box. Until this day, Ugas has the clearest win over Sean, but he doesn't have a name. Yeah, well, I mean, I thought Kel's win was pretty clear. You know what I'm saying? DG's Afro-Latin Dance Project. Salute. Careers are short and dangerous. When you reach the top, you should have the right to get at least one while it's still on the table. For Earl, that's Manny. But Bud versus Earl Spence equals pound for pound #1. I mean, it's the people's choice. At the end of the day. At the end of the day, one thing that boxing, we can never let boxing stop responding to is the people. If the people say, this is the fight that we want, then that's the fight that they got to provide. We would love to see Earl versus Manny. But if everyone is calling for Earl versus Bud, it's the people's choice. And that's what we want. Slow the videos of rounds. One foe says Porter was not connecting at all. Now, I will admit, Porter was smothering shots. He was overshooting. A lot of stuff was hitting arms, shoulders, knees, and toes. But at the end of the day, he was working. And he was keeping. There were points, like that's why I try to tell y'all, go back to the 4th round. And you look at the opening of the 4th round. The fight's still on YouTube for anybody who ain't seen it. Catch it before they take it down. You go to the 4th round. And you look at Sean Porter literally laid about, I don't know, like 6 right hands on Earl, and Earl did not even barely swing back. Like in the first half of the 4th round, Earl literally stood right in front of Sean Porter, and Sean Porter was connecting like Lego blocks. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you that there was a lot of points like that throughout of the fight. Now, there were points where Sean would get his off, Earl would come back and get his off. Sean would get his off, Earl would come. But there were points where Earl would take time off, and Sean kept working. I just recently watched this fight, man. Sean kept working, never stopped working. Earl took small parts of this fight off. Mainly, the first break was in the 4th round, where Earl relaxed a little bit in the whole first half of that round. And he gave it away to Sean. Sean was connecting on everything. Earl started to turn it up in the second half. Hey, FJ say after that fight, Spence looked like he got jumped by 3 dudes. Yeah, man. Styles make fights, says Newborn. Danny Garcia will really hurt Spence. I am picking Garcia, and I never thought I would say that. That's tough. You know, Danny Garcia is a counterpuncher, man. So Earl, if that jab out there, Earl still has a decent jab. The jab, you know, was the best thing he had going, I thought, last night. That and the body work. But if Earl put the jab out there, the question is, can Danny counter over top of it? And Earl will be looking for that. Earl will be looking for that. You know what I mean? See, Earl now is going through exactly what Keith went through. Keith had already did this. You know what I'm saying? You already beat Danny and Sean. Earl's going through what Keith already been through. And as of right now, Keith beat Sean way better than Earl did. I'm just saying. D'Lo 4-4 boxing. Kill was a clear win, but Porter looked lost versus Ugas and ran out of ideas and got dropped. Yeah, he did run out of ideas because he couldn't outbox Ugas, and he knew the aggression wasn't going to work because Ugas started beating him up on the inside also. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we'll see how this goes, bro. We will definitely see how this goes. P. Newell in the super chat. That is family right there. Salute, famo. Salute to you, man. After that GQ magazine with Spence, now it's facts. After last night, he is doing this turtleneck and briefcase dance all day. You know what I'm saying? You ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying. Hey, my man is waking up this morning like in the mirror, like, yeah, honey, you have my coffee and bring me the morning journal, please. You know what I mean? He'll be checking the stock market in the morning. He has his business hat on, fight fans. And now as a unified champion, expect for him to become like a CEO up in this joint. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get crazy. D'Lo says, Earl does not look as dominant without Blu-ray as his strength and conditioning coach. That's the question. Like, what's up with that? Like, you know, we always hear, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Him and Blu-ray wasn't broke. And that could have been a personal issue that I'm not aware of, and I have no idea what went down or whatever the case. Money, you know, lately with a lot of fighters and their trainers and their managers, they're going through money issues. And, you know, you've seen fighters like, you know, Gennady Golovkin dismiss Abel Sanchez. You know, you see all of this going on. You see Andre Rozier and Daniel Jacobs right now going through problems. You know what I mean? So you don't know what the problem can be. But all I do know, like I said before, that dynamic duo was working, and it must be something going on for that dynamic duo to just stop. Earl looks in dominating fashion, chiseled to the core when he's with Blu-ray. So whatever the issue may be, hopefully they can patch it up, because right now that dynamic duo is a match made in heaven. You know what I'm saying? I believe. Jawad Hussein says Benavidez is a lot better than Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I think so too. I think he knocks out Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know what I mean? I think so too. I don't think highly of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. by far. You know what I mean? So that could be it. But he has a lot of ground to cover in boxing. He got a lot of time to correct a lot of problems. You know what I mean? What I seen from David is that it's just too stiff. And I wonder what happens when that kind of firepower that he gives out comes back at him and he can't get out the way of those punches. How will that work for him? See, Caleb Plant is going to fight similar to what Darrell did, but the only difference is that Caleb Plant is not, he is going to stand his ground and attempt to use his upper body movement on David Benavidez. He's going to try to make David miss a lot. And I'm sorry, man, David's speed, his upper body movement, the fact that he's flat-footed, he's too stiff, he's too tense. He's going to need to loosen up. And he's going to have to work on that upper body movement, I believe. He's only 22 years old, so he got a long way to go. You know what I mean? Karan Bray says, Porter swept the first 10. Damn, Karan. Salute to you, Karan. EJ should have got DQ'd in the third. They wasn't going to let that happen. You say he won the first 10. So you didn't give Earl Spence Jr. not one round in the first 10? That's a stretch. That's a little bit of a stretch for me, but I get it, man. I mean, look, like I tell people, man, cosmetically, man, this fight looked like it should have went to Showtime Sean Porter. It just looked like, and I know people saying, yeah, he smothered his punches, but the work rate, the fact that he had Earl on the retreat in so much of this fight, like I said last night, and I know I said this intoxicated, but this was true. We are so used to seeing Earl as the dominant figure. So maybe a lot of us are caught off guard because we've never seen Earl retreat this much in a fight. Never. So maybe we're a little off, and maybe we're just sitting back like, what the hell? I remember people saying this when Sean fought Ugas. They was like, well, man, you only saying that because you feel like because you didn't see the normal Sean Porter. And he tried to box this fight, so you think he lost because of something you were expecting. Some people say when you expect to see a certain fighter fight like they normally does and they don't, it makes you think that they lost. So I want to get that fully out there. I'm fully aware of that. With that in mind, I still think that Earl Spence Jr. lost. And it ain't because, oh, this is something, oh, you don't normally see. No, no, he lost. And I'm calling it straight down the middle. If he would, bro, you looking at a cat who was ready to crown this dude the dude. And I would have been up on here this morning, bigging him up. And yo, I would have hyped him up so much, man, it would have caused shockwaves. I've now closed that box and I put duct tape over top of it. I put the Earl Spence Jr. hat and the jacket and everything into the box, and I zipped it up. And I said, well, maybe next fight. But this fight, I can't give it to him. I cannot give it to him, fight fans. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot. Let's see here. Look like I'm. Let me see. All right, we're just gonna keep it rolling. Benavidez is a lot. Already read that. Okay. Man, big fan. What up, famo? You see that fight last night, man? What a fight last night, fam. What a fight. Rocket Strike City 9. I wish people would stop saying that Earl had no strength and conditioning. Of course he had strength and conditioning. He just didn't have Blu-ray. Yeah, man. He better get that Blu-ray because right now he in standard definition, bro. You know what I'm saying? He in standard. He ain't even in the 720p. If he needs Blu-ray, you know what I mean? He needs Blu-ray. Because right now, my man is fighting in standard definition. You dig? The fight was badass, says my man, main man, big fan. It was, bro. Classic fight. It was. And I'm down to see it again. And I'm down to pay $75 more to see it again. They put this fight on again. And you should too, as a boxing fan. Hilo 4-4 boxing. I'm saying he looks like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. When he was in his prime, he fights similarly. Yeah, okay. It's flat-footed and plodding. Not saying he can't beat him all day. I agree with that 100%. Very similar in styles. They do fight similar. And, look what it got Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It turned him into a basic, straight up and down, no special effects fighter. And David can surpass that. He can add more to his game. You did? D-Lo 4-4 boxing say first 10. Oh, okay. One foe says a work rate. Garbage punches versus Spence killer punches. I hear you, man. I hear you. But you can also, that's you say work rate. But Spence was working too. He just got outworked. It's just one area of the fight that I felt as though he lost. The same way you say that Earl won in the clean, decisive punching department. I say he won that department, no doubt. But he got to win other things too to completely win the fight. And Sean won, okay, the pace, the action, controlling the pace. I already said that. You know what I mean? He hurt Earl Spence several times throughout of this fight. Earl Spence was the more dirtier fighter in this fight, but you don't hold that against him. I just think Sean had more going for him in the totality of judging a fight than Earl did. And that's why I believe that Earl lost the fight. It could be one, maybe 2 rounds, but I thought it was real close. I thought Sean could have edged it. You know what I mean? P. Newell in the super chat. Salute, famo. Salute. All Porter has to do is master that style of fighting. I believe he can get all of the belts. And see, and P. Newell, Porter let fans talk him into not being that dude against Ugas. And I was hoping that they didn't play out in this fight because I kept telling people, Porter keep on running around, want to show everybody I'm not a dirty fighter. I'm not a dirty fighter. I'm a good boxer. And he said that leading up to this fight. And I said, man, I hope he doesn't allow that mental warfare that the fans and Earl Spence is putting on him to make him fight out. But he didn't. He fought the best version of Sean Porter I've seen in years. Let's see. Unbiased. Salute, unbiased. I had Porter 7-5 all day. Hey, bro, I had Porter winning it too, homie. You know? This is just people calling the fight as they see it, fight fans. Y'all look, man, we got to call it what we seen. It's going to be a stretch for people to explain why Earl won this fight. You're going to say, well, he hit him with the hardest shots. When people say, well, didn't Porter hurt Earl? You're going to have to say yes. When people say, wasn't Porter the majority of this fight? You're going to have to say yes. When people say, well, was Porter not also digging to the body and all of it? You're going to have to say yes. Trust me when I tell you, Team Porter believes they won this fight. Sean relationship with Earl or whatever the case may be. Team Porter believes they won this fight. Believe that shit. Believe that shit. One folks said I had a 3-3 after 6. That's a close fight, bro. It's a close fight. D-Lo fight that will be close 5 out of 5 times. And when you got a situation like that, you got to run it back. You got to run it back. All right, look, man. Let me ask y'all this. So what's next? What's next? Earl Spence Jr. says he wants Manny Pacquiao. They all want Manny Pacquiao. Whatever Manny's going to do, we just don't know right now. I think Manny goes towards Mikey or Danny Garcia. Now, if this takes an opponent away from Earl Spence. Clearly, Keith Thurman ain't ready to fight Earl Spence right now, which I think he should, but whatever. He's not ready for Earl Spence. Earl need to be going to Terrence Crawford. If he's not going to rematch Porter, and he ain't going to fight Danny, clearly he ain't going to get the Manny fight. We need to be talking about who tell you different is BSing you. And they're taking up for Earl. Anybody who tells you that if Danny is not there and Manny is not there, that Earl should fight Bud, they are BSing you. The fight is ready. The fight is baked. Okay? Bud has no 1-2 fight. Clearly, Earl will be left with no 1-2 fight. Unifications trump mandatories. So if Earl has a mandatory for the IBF, and we know how the IBF do, they are strict with their mandatories, or whether it be for the WBC, unifications trump mandatories. There's no reason why the fight should not be made or starting to get worked on. Unbiased says, amen, man. Amen, man. I told you Porter could beat Spence. You wasn't trying to hear it, dog. Hey, bro, I'm going to be honest. When you look at these styles, Unbiased, and like I remember when I was telling you, I was like the real estate. You know what I mean? I truly believe that Earl was going to command the real estate. Earl did not command the real estate in this fight. I was blown away by that. I thought he would stand his ground. He would use his length. He would control the real estate. He would keep Porter on the outside of his punches. And if Porter got too close, he would beat him up on the inside. That's just what we've been seeing from Earl Spence Jr. But we just didn't see it this fight. Porter just didn't let that happen, man. He didn't let that happen, man. But good call, Unbiased. Good call. General Long says, man, Earl was killing Sean's body. Man, when do you stop? I'm glad none of the judges have your eyes. Killing Sean to the body. How many punches but how many of those punches actually hurt Sean? Like Sean hurt Earl. You looking at it from a one-sided lens, General Long. There's two sides to this argument. Can you at least admit then, General Long, that Earl got hurt several times in this fight? Can you at least admit, General Long, that Sean pressed the action for most of this fight? Can you admit that at least? Because we're not going to look at the fact that Earl had some good shots on the inside, but he was having good shots put back on him on the inside. I believe that Sean was matching Earl firepower for firepower. Whenever Earl got off, Sean got off. Whenever Sean got off, Earl would try to get off. But I believe that for the most part of the fight, Sean got off more. What I believe. Some people, like somebody said earlier, Sean may throw a 4-piece combination. Out of the 4 punches, 1 may land. 1 may land. He may get that first dinging in upstairs, ding, and then the rest of them he's smothering and all that. But that 1 was coming back. Every single landing, like I told you, go to the 4th round, man. The man landed like literally 4 straight right hands, bro. It was just like, Earl, are you going to swing back? And there was a lot of points like that throughout the fight, man. Yeah, I'm not going to convince nobody. I'm not going to convince. If you're an Earl fan, you're going to leave an Earl fan. Some of the Earl fans maybe have witnessed and said, well, his sense of invincibility is gone. Some of y'all were nervous and some of y'all were scared. You can admit it. But at the end of the day, you got to at least give credit where credit is due. And for you to look at just what Earl does and not look at it as nothing, I looked at this thing as a totality. with Sean. There was nothing that Earl did that Sean, aside from the knockdown, there was nothing that Earl did that Sean didn't do. And on top of you add on the fact that he was hurting Earl and pressing the action. Not to mention Earl was going low. Hit him after the ref broke him up. A lot of these things were planned into the fight. Get it in this totality, fight fans. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, man, I can't be mad, though, if anybody believed that Earl won the fight. It was a close fight, man. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. Owen Bryan, 7-5 Spence. Earl should fight either Danny or Bud. I agree. I don't think he fighting Pac. I don't think Pac wants it. Pac ain't never want Earl. He's never indicated it, never. On his polls that he's put out, on when he's put in the ring, when they ask him about him, Pac-Man right now ain't entertaining Earl. And Earl should know this. So if that is the case, you try to get Danny, but if Pac-Man takes Danny, like there's rumored to be happening, we don't know that yet. If he takes Danny Garcia, that leaves you without a dance partner. Either you should be rematching Sean or getting in the ring with Bud. Period. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. And Bias says Spence is being protected. We'll see. It will show us if they really protecting him, if they don't even entertain Sean Porter's rematch requests. He doesn't have a rematch clause, which was stupid, but he has a rematch request. So if they don't honor it, it is what it is. All right. Well, look here, man. I got to get ready to go, man. I got to get ready to get out of here. Libra Sun says, main man, the knockdown was peace to the God, main man. The knockdown was the biggest factor, but Earl edged it. Just because you are fighting for your life don't mean you are winning. The knockdown could have sealed the deal for a lot of y'all. And even that's what I said last night. But at the end of the day, fight fans, and I'm just going to say this, you got to look at things in this totality. As for next, before I get off here, for Sean Porter, I will say that Sean Porter, if he cannot get this rematch with Earl Spence, then he needs to stay at the top of the pyramid, meaning that don't fall too far down. Go get a confidence builder win and then get right back into the thick of things. There's still other fights that Sean can still fight at the top level. Like someone mentioned earlier, a rematch with Ugas would be proper. Of course, a rematch with Earl would be good. We don't know, man. Maybe some of the maybe Danny want to get a rematch. You know what I mean? He's not entertaining a fight with Terrence Crawford because they're friends. So I'm just saying, I want to see Sean hover around the top. I don't want to see Sean just like kick to the side, forgot about. Sean is great for boxing. He's great for the division. And he brings exciting fights each and every time. Man, this is why I love to see Sean Porter fight, truth be told. P. Noah says 2 times I seen Spence get hurt. I seen him get hurt more than that, bro. More than that. You know what I mean? Spence was hurt several times, especially with his short right hand to the body. It was clearly visible, stopped Spence in his tracks. Man, Spence got hurt a few times. I'm sorry, man. And these are the things that I'm talking about. He didn't hurt Porter nearly as many times as Porter hurt him. Nearly as many. You judge the fight based on that too. I mean, look, man. Like I said, I don't know if anybody's gonna walk away convinced or that their guy didn't win. I saw Porter winning this fight. He lost his WBC title. He can't admit it. They feel that way. You know what I mean? But I saw Porter pull it out last night, man. And I hope he gets his rematch, and he deserves a rematch. But I will say before I shut it down, salute to both men. Earl Spence Jr., well, we love it or hate it, fight fans. And his whether we love it or hate it, Earl Spence Jr. is the #1 welterweight in boxing. On paper, he is the #1 welterweight in boxing. He gets to call the shots now at welterweight. He is, like he said, the big fish. A lot of y'all may not be impressed. I wasn't really impressed. I mean, he didn't lose. So you got to give credit. And I do give Earl, I will probably do a separate video on its own, honestly giving credit to Earl Spence, because I'm not going to sit here and just dog him out. You know what I mean? That ain't what I'm here to do. I'm just calling it like I see it. And credit to him for becoming a unified world champion. Credit to him doing when he was once regarded as an unknown, no one wanted to fight him, no one knew him type guy, to now becoming the #1 dude in the division. So you got to salute at least that. The fact that these dudes never wanted to fight him. They kept him on the outside for years. And now that he is inside the house, he's kicking the furniture around and he is rearranging that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give him credit for that. And he showed up to fight, and he never ran. He never backed down. I mean, as far as like going into this fight, he never ran away from Porter. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna get out of here, man. I got things to do for the day, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm gonna try to use some of this weather and get to the beach real quick, man. Beach in September all day. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So I'm gonna try to make it on out there. Enjoy the rest of this day. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Hit the thumbs up for me on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. We will cover more of this on We Talking Boxing this coming week, coming up Wednesday. We will break the stats down. We will get real technical. Y'all know how we do when I'm behind the mic. We'll get more technical behind the mic. We'll put out the punch stats. We'll put out the judges' scorecard. Story that tells us. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. If you didn't hit it on the way in, enjoy all of the boxing media that's going to be coming out today about this fight. Don't miss a thing because we're going to chop it up Wednesday on We Talking Boxing. Salute to each and every one of y'all, everybody that joined this live stream, everybody that watches the playback. Salute. Boxing fans, at the end of the day, whether you're a Spence or a Porter fan, we got a treat. Be happy with what we got, and we should support more fights like this. We got us a treat. That was a great fight last night, and big ups to both men for entertaining the boxing public. Stay stressed and sucker free. Peace out to y'all. Man, don't do nothing I would, and I will see y'all Wednesday on We Talking Boxing. Peace out.